Ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend, a good, nice Sunday. Been a lot going on over my way, and I wanted to go live and talk about something that seems to be occurring over the last few days. It's really, I think I had an issue on I think it was the 17th, we'll say the 20th. Yeah, 19, 18. Anyway, it was Friday night. Let me tell you what happened, why I'm live today, because I love it when social media companies cave to our government. And that's the only thing I can think that's possibly happened here, because I've had it happen before. And what are you talking about, LeakYou? Well, over the weekend, the latest video that I did on Immaculate Constellation was taken down on 2 platforms. And I've listed those platforms in the description of the video subject, but both Facebook and Google. Facebook and Google seem to be the most susceptible as well to government requests, if I may say. Now, again, why am I saying this? This is not the first time I have experienced this. The first time I ever experienced like a government crackdown on my content was when COVID hit back in 2020. I had done a couple of videos on COVID, C-19, and the new vaccination that was suddenly miraculously developed for human beings. I mean, they don't even have a vaccination against Ebola yet, but somehow they managed to create a vaccination, they claim, for C-19. Which, you know, also with vaccinations, typically people don't have to get them over and over and over in life. I've never really been one to trust vaccinations. But I know some, you know, do save lives, but I'm very skeptical of the C-19 COVID vaccination. For one, we've got people catching COVID over and over, even though they're vaccinated. And some of these have received boosters to these vaccinations. So when trying to express my opinion about that, there was like an influx of vloggers, and it wasn't just me, that, you know, had some criticism for the government and these mandatory requirements that people go out and get vaccinated. Although some of you may be all about vaccination, believe me, there's a whole nother side to it. And we have to be very careful about what we're letting the government put in our bodies. In no time in history, ever, has a vaccination been created so quickly from a disease that just broke out. I could name, AIDS does not have a vaccine. There's no vaccine against HIV, no vaccine against Ebola, there's no vaccine against a lot of different diseases that still exist out here to this day. Scientists are unable to create one for whatever reason. So again, we had COVID, and it wasn't even, that virus wasn't even done pummeling planet Earth when they were, making all these mandatory requirements. I mean, these requirements spread across the world. You're flying into airports across, in other countries, and you're having to submit to, a COVID swab or prove to, customs that you're actually vaccinated. There were some countries that weren't even allowing people in because that's what fear mongering is. And so through all of that, those that made videos that critiqued or criticized that particular stance, there was an incident that happened in the summer of 2020 in which thousands of videos were not only just taken down, but people like myself received a 7-day strike for, what was it? The title of the strike was misinformation. There was no way to appeal it. It was an automatic 7-day strike. Even if you had never been struck on the Google platform, you got a 7-day strike. And you could not go live. You could not upload a video. I mean, they really, really punished us for having a stance. So, and that's not the only thing we've seen. We've seen several instances of the Biden administration reaching into social media companies like Google, like Facebook, like Twitter, and making demands that the social media giants take content down, specific pieces of content that classify under a certain, parent topic. If they're criticizing the COVID-19, vaccination and blase, if there's any potential, that people would listen to this and not go get a vaccination that we're really literally testing on the world population. Okay. They used to have to go to, countries and operate doing that nonsense outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. There's so many cases of scientists going to Africa, for example, and literally testing drugs and different vaccinations on these participants may be willing, but believe me, they're getting things out of it that they absolutely need, like food, water, important things that can easily be provided by a country as rich as the United States and other countries, but they have a free population to test their drugs on. And that's been happening for centuries, right? This C-19 vaccination has been tested all over the world again. So anyway, that happened. And it was my first real experience with the government interfering into my content, having a say-so in what I'm, saying out here, and literally having my videos removed. Some that received strikes were completely deplatformed because of those actions. And to this day, especially Google has not been held responsible for deplatforming many. It also resulted in the demonetization of several content creators on the YouTube and Google platforms. But it's not just Google and YouTube. It's also Facebook and Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. Again, I pay attention very closely to all these social media companies. And, the United States cannot enact its will like that on a platform such as TikTok, which is, I believe, a big reason why it will be banned come January. Twitter is less likely to operate within government confines like, the previous owner. Before Elon Musk took over, there was another owner, Jack, on Twitter. And it seemed when he was at the helm, there was a lot of, requests by government authorities to remove certain posts, blah, 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 blah. Deplatform Donald Trump, even though Twitter said that was their decision. But you gotta wonder if the government had anything to do with it. Surely they were complaining about how, Trump's rhetoric was dangerous for the United States. It was the first time in history we ever had a president really utilize his own personal platform for government presidential announcements, right? He got deplatformed. He ended up starting up Truth Social and truly pulled a boss move by doing that. Not only did he start up Truth Social, the Truth Social has a stock ticker behind it, and he managed to get a lot of people over there. I've not looked at the latest numbers on Truth Social, but he managed to get a lot of people over there, and it's growing every day. And the government doesn't have as much of a say-so on the platform. And some other platforms, like, I'll just use an example here, like Twitch. You do, and this is just an example, right? You can do a live stream in a way where the live stream's only available while you're live. Once you're live, it's gone, depending on what setting you have, right? It's like a live TV type of function or whatnot. So I say all of that because over the weekend, my video that I did on Immaculate Constellation was removed by the Facebook platform and by the Google platform. Classified as something so easily to false flag someone for, but like spam is how they classified it. There's nothing spam about me doing a video on Immaculate Constellation. I've been hearing through the social media grapevine that many others have been noticing behavior in Google and Facebook that seems to show that there's some sort of action being taken to remove posts related to the term Immaculate Constellation. Now, when I was watching the Weaponized podcast with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, shout out to them, as well as listening to Michael Schellenberg and Ross Cohart from News Nation, apparently, if previously, I want to say previously to it blowing up out here over the last week, it really blew up about around October 13th or so. If you said the word Immaculate Constellation, it triggered government surveillance. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I do think about those sorts of things, especially when I get into talking about certain stories and topics. It's always in the back of my mind that there's some government agent listening to my content. Because I do a lot of content on, UFO, UAP, non-human intelligence, various stories. I mean, I've been doing it for years. And I've had, even before the situation in 2020 that I was telling you all about, I did a video on a white supremacist based in Virginia. And I got the FBI's attention for that. A white supremacist named Bill White, who has quite a crazy storied history with the FBI and as well as federal assistant, federal DAs. All right. And has been prosecuted, put in federal prison, went on the run, all sorts of crazy stuff. Had a building that he was a landlord for where he treated people of color so dramatically different. But me doing a video on him, gosh, maybe I want to say 15 years ago now, got the attention of the FBI. I've definitely had a lot of wild experiences in doing this live stream thing. And so anyway, I wanted to make sure that everybody knew. And let me show you this post just as an example here. I've got my receipt here. Let me pull my receipt. All right. You can see here that it says here, we removed a post from your group. In other words, they deleted the whole damn post. Immaculate Constellation, Pentagon UFO secret program exposed by new whistleblower. They say it goes against their community standards. Now, this was the receipt from Facebook. This happened the same day that I did the video. Pretty immediate. Interesting. Pretty immediate. Now, the post was a video post. That was the thumbnail of the video post. Now, I've appealed it. But appealing on it with these social media companies it's always a luck of the draw. I don't have any representation within these social media companies to speak on my behalf when I absolutely feel something that has been pulled down that should not have been pulled down. And I don't feel that my video should have been pulled down. There was absolutely nothing spammy about it at all. It was a single video, about an hour long, in which I talked about this, the breaking news. Essentially, it's been breaking news all through the UFO community, but I talked about, quite a few things related underneath this so-called alleged parent program known as Immaculate Constellation, which actually was a new name change from another program name because it was exposed in the New York Times. So don't get it twisted. It appears that our government is now leaning in to social media companies and having them pull posts, or they are actively flagging posts. No question. There would have been no reason for this video to have been taken down by not one but two social media giants on the same day. And when stuff like that happens, it tells me that I'm doing something right. That nothing like this is going to ever stop me from doing my videos. And let me make sure you all can fully see that. The date, the post again, it was a video post. It was my video, and it has now been removed. It is still available on X. So you can go to X.com, Twitter, formerly Twitter, and see it there. And it may as well be that way because honestly, I get quadruple the traffic on X than I do on any other platform that I live stream on. I mean, it's been like that now for about a year almost. And it's been actually quite surprising. There's no question that people that even talk about these sorts of things get pushed down in the algorithm. We get shadow banned on various platforms. And so I wonder what other additional attention this, has gotten my platform. As far as on the Facebook platform, am I going to be on a permanent shadow ban? The things that we have to deal with as content creators, it's always something. Always something. But spam is an easy way to get somebody's video taken down. Such an easy way. An easy classification to throw it in, right? But listen, that's not the only indication that something is going on when it comes to the keywords of Immaculate Constellation. It appears that Google has also removed all prior search history under the Google search trends for Immaculate Constellation. Now, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp would know this because on their podcast, they spoke to the fact there that you could actually look at the search history for Immaculate Constellation, and they spoke about how there was previous searches that seemed to increase during times like when David Grush went in front of Congress. He noticed, and he specifically mentioned this, that he noticed an increase in the Google search trends when David Grush went public, that the term skyrocketed. And I have proof of this, but I'll tell you what, as of today, that history is now gone. And I'm going to show that to you. Now, there is something called Google Trends. Google Trends is a way to search a keyword that has been, any keyword, right? You can search that keyword and see what the history has been in the past for that keyword, okay? Now listen, what I'm about to provide you some damn good receipts, so I hope you take note, people. The term Immaculate Constellation, as you can see from this screenshot that was taken, almost never, and this was taken, what day was this? What day was this? Hold on, I'll tell you what day this was taken. That thought, sorry. Give me a second, y'all. What day was this? Yes, October 10th. So right before the influx of traffic this last week, under, Immaculate Constellation, everybody's now talking about it. Right before it, went to that viral place, there was many searching Google Trends for the word Immaculate Constellation. Again, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp specifically even mentioned this in their podcast, which is a great reference point that what I'm about to tell you is absolutely 1000% true. You can see that in June of 2023, there was a huge blip in the search history of the term Immaculate Constellation. And that is when when David Grush went public, had hearings on Congress. We were hearing about crash retrievals and all of that. That was in June of 2023. Now, this is today. It has been removed. And to prove that to you, allow me to bring up a raw Google trend search history for you. And I'm actually going to search it right here with you. We're going to search the term Immaculate Constellation. All right. And let's just go back 4 hours. Well, actually, let's go back a day. We'll see our influx in traffic here. It's at the top at 100. It just means that there's been a lot of interest right? We can see areas of the United States where there's been interest in what what related topics there are, which is extraterrestrial life, an unidentified flying object. Michael Schellenberger, Immaculate Constellation, read it. Okay, remember June 2023. Let's go back 7 days. This is what it looks like. This has been the trend for the term Immaculate Constellation over a 7-day period because it went viral. Everyone's been talking about it. Let's go back 12 months. We can see here going back to October 15th of last year, there's nothing until recently when it became viral, when Michael Schellenberger's story broke. Now, let's go see what is in 2023. Let's go back past 5 years. There's nothing here. June 2023. Let's go to June 2023, shall we? 0. Now, when you go to Google search trends for June 2023, you will see that Google has absolutely deleted all search history related to the term Immaculate Constellation. It's gone. It is gone as of the last few days. Don't know exactly what day, but it definitely happened within the last week. Jeremy Corbell's, when was that weaponized, that particular episode released? Let me just check it. Hold on. It was episode 60. All right, so that was published 4 days ago. I don't know when he filmed it, but between the time that he filmed that podcast, okay, and today, the term Immaculate Constellation has been wiped out from Google's search history trends. It's gone. Again, I'll remind folks that not only did Jeremy Corbell mention that there was an uptick. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Hold that thought. Hold on. I want to see if I can find the transcript of the show. Let's see if I can find that part. Hold that thought, you all.
It's not a foreign topic to you and me. Are you aware of how much information about this program has been shared with members of
Congress? For example, Schellenberger's article has obviously been read on Capitol Hill by a lot of these people, especially the names that we mentioned who are interested in this subject. But are you aware of additional information that has been shared directly with members of Congress and or senior staff members?
Yes, I think it is factually and important for me to say that I am directly aware of the totality of this report and information being in person given to certain members. I'm not saying of Congress or Senate, certain members, and that I was present.
Oh, you're present?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay, so the indictments will be delivered to your house.
There's nothing I did wrong. There's nothing I did wrong. No. I don't know if we're going to leave this in the footage, but you're asking me, am I aware of that statement? I saw that statement. Michael Schellenberger said that members of Congress are made aware. That is 100% true, and I can testify to it under oath in the court of law because I was fucking there.
So according to Michael's article, there is a central whistleblower. According to you, there are more than one source of this information.
Yes.
According to the two of you, information has been shared with members of Congress.
Yes.
And it appears for now that this is real, that it's real. That it was
for now. For now.
For now.
Yeah.
And do you have a sense of whether the people on the Hill who've seen this information are motivated, are highly interested? Are they
All right, let me copy the whole
asking tough
transcript,
questions?
and we're going to search it.
I decline to comment.
For his
Let me ask you this.
comments.
So let's say there's a
And that will
document
allow me to have
that has
the
been
exact
referenced in
timestamp.
some
Give me a sec.
reports.
Michael Schellenberger has said there's a 20-something page document.
Let's say there's a document. I believe that it includes 3 interesting letters, ARB. So that, for me, as a longtime UFO guy, raises red flags. ARV, alien replication vehicle, something like that. Supposedly a vehicle that we have built based on recovered alien technology. That's been raised in some fairly questionable corners of ufology over the years. And I
There
don't,
we go.
I
I got
can
it.
never tell whether that's
We're at timestamp 30,
disinformation,
21.
whether it's a red flag, whether it's thrown out as bait. Do you have a sense of how?
All right, we need to go forward, and I want you all to pay attention. I've got the timestamp here. Check this out.
Threats, sometimes all the time.
Eat it for
And,
breakfast.
you know, somebody calls you on the phone and they're going to threaten your life. How serious can it be? If they really want to kill you,
Yeah.
do they give you a warning shot in advance? But there was an interesting little side story with this, the name of this program. After it came out, some of the detectives on social media, and a lot of those folks do some really good work.
They do great work.
They dig into looking for Google searches for that term.
Heard about
where it's popped up before.
Yeah.
And it popped up when Dave Grush came forward. When he gave his testimony, suddenly the name of this Immaculate program, there's a spike.
Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah, Immaculate Constellation. There's a spike in Google requests under that term.
Wow.
Which is weird.
Now, not only did they talk about this, they put a screenshot from when Google, had information. It was a spike almost, it looks about, I would say I'd put it at like 35, maybe 35. A spike at approximately 35. There would have been data within that area. And there was actually people searching for the term Immaculate Constellation on June 18th through June 24th, 2023. Okay. We see that. That's in the Weaponized podcast. But as of today, October 20th, 1:13 p.m., this same window, as you can see, that data is gone. There is no spike. There's nothing there. That data's gone. Interesting. That is so interesting. I'm doing the same 5-year search back that was done here on the Weaponized podcast. He did a search whoever did this, did a search going back the past 5 years. And you could clearly see that spike. Ever so evident. We should see a spike, the same spike for that month, right? And it is so obvious. We got the same 5-year report here, and that data is now gone. This is a real live render of the term Immaculate Constellation. I'm going back 5 years, same time frame. There's nothing there. And again, that is on the Google platform. You all, everybody Google's search trend is the #1 homepage, right? People don't think about search engines as much, like Dogpile or MSN.com or, other search bars, search engines. But my goodness, Google, if you're going to be so obvious and blatant about it, it's so obvious. Why would Google remove any data related to Immaculate Constellation from 2023? Why would they take all that data away from that big spike? Now, we don't have valid search history we can even really refer to, because as soon as the government gets wind that Google has managed to capture search trend history on this name, it's suddenly gone within days, within 4 days of the weaponized podcast. The data's gone.
Forward. When he gave his testimony, suddenly the name of this, after it came out, some of the detectives on social media, and a lot of those folks do some really good work.
They do great work.
They dig into looking for Google searches for that term,
Heard about
of where it's popped up before.
Yeah.
And it popped up when Dave Grush came forward. When he gave his testimony, suddenly the name of this Immaculate program, there's a spike.
Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah, Immaculate Constellation. There's a spike in Google requests under that term.
Wow.
Which is weird because Grush didn't mention it.
No, he didn't. But if I was sitting at Right Pat, I would be worried what.
I love the fact they included the screenshot.
After it came out, some of the detectives on social media, and a lot of those folks do some really good work.
They do great work.
They dig into looking for Google searches for that term,
Heard about
of where it's popped up before.
Yeah.
And it popped up when Dave Grush came forward. When he gave his testimony, suddenly the name of this Immaculate program, there's a spike.
Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah, Immaculate.
That spike is now gone. It is gone. It has been wiped. Google has removed it. Again, it's not just Google. Facebook is also behind the scenes doing some really weird stuff again, as evident in my, let me just kind of, show you this while I'm talking about it. Video that I did on Immaculate Constellation was removed by the Facebook platform the same day I did it. I did it on October 17th, and it was taken down within hours. As you can see. Claiming it was spam, which is hilarious to me. It's so easy for Facebook to classify my video post as spam and take it down. I've never had that type of takedown on Facebook, and I've had my page over there for a long time. All I do is videos. I don't do any posting. I don't do written posts, I guess is the best way to say it. All I do is video posts, and I can only do one stream at a time. But it's interesting, too, that they also hit my main page, the one that I stream everything to. They made sure to get it at the source. So anyway, I wanted to share that with the world and make everyone aware that there is definitely something going down big time with the phrase Immaculate Constellation. And it is now so evident that we have search history being completely wiped out by Google. We have videos being removed. I've been affected by that personally. I'm curious how many others have had videos removed with the phrase or term Immaculate Constellation in it. And it's not even just what you're putting in the subject or description of a video. They're utilizing the transcripts and what is being written and AI generated in those transcripts to determine what you're talking about in those videos. And that's another way that they're getting those videos taken down as well. So with all that said, I think I've made my point. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. It ain't going to stop me. I'm still going to keep going, folks. There's so much more to talk about, so much more to discover. And this only invigorates me. It only lights a fire under me. I like it when governments play with my stuff like that. I don't appreciate that. I work hard on my videos. Listen, all my graphics, all the money I've paid for graphics software and all the time I've spent generating all of my graphics and all the platforms I have. You know, I might not be a million, hosted podcaster yet, but I've got a couple 100,000 followers across all of social media. I did a different type of strategy. I've built out and up. Some people, been successful at throwing one thing out there and building up. But I'm kind of wide out there, I'm on like every platform you can think of, and all I do is videos. That's it. I don't do any written blogging or anything like that. I don't have a website that I have a website, but I don't, if it was, up and running right now, I'm just keeping it hosted or keeping it up, or the domain bought. I'm not keeping it hosted right now. If I had it hosted, it would strictly be videos from my social media. I've recently even started transitioning over to Rumble because of all the censorship happening on the YouTube platform, which is owned by Google. So understand this, that search history not only involves the searches of Immaculate Constellation in the Google bar, but in YouTube as well, all across the Google platform. Anyway, you all, thanks for coming through. I appreciate each and every one of you. Before we get up out of here, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Guys, again, I'm out of here. I'll catch you all on the next live stream. Until next time.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.